Greetings YouTube, LMS Tactical here. We're going to try this again, this video screen capture, and hopefully I can get the volume right this time. What I've got in front of me is, this is going to be a concealed carry person who was involved in a shooting, and I want to just go over it with you guys and see if maybe we can see if things were done right, or maybe some things that could have been done better. Now, I can tell you ahead of time, everybody lived in this situation, and the suspect was wounded and ended up being sentenced to, I can't remember if it was 15 years or whatever. But basically, from what I can tell, and I don't have any inside information on it, just I'm looking at what you're looking at. It looks like it was, I can't even tell from that timestamp. Holy shit, looks like it happened in 1932. No, I'm just kidding. Looked like it might be maybe 2018, who knows, who cares. So apparently I'm going to run the video, and then we're going to run it again and go through it. So here we go. And there is no audio to this video. So here comes the bad guy into what looks like a store. Hops over the rail, the exit rail, and customers are putting their hands up. He's waving his gun around, and he's telling the cashier here to load up the bag with the cash. And you can see how quickly this happens. He's threatening people. Almost looks like he's got a shotgun under his sleeve. I thought it was a handgun at first, but if you look at it, that's a pretty damn long barrel, and I couldn't get any info on it. Yeah, that looks like a shotgun. Maybe a sawed-off shotgun. If that's the case, I mean, that just ups the danger, as if it's not dangerous enough. But look at that. That's some sort of a sawed-off, long-barreled weapon. So he goes to make his escape, and this guy right here is the concealed carry guy. We're going to see it from a different angle. Here's the bad guy. Here's the concealed... Oh, no, that's not the bad guy. Here's the concealed carry guy, and he shoots at the bad guy going out. You see this gun smoke, and this guy ends up collapsing right here. Okay, so let's read this. The armed thug was shot twice. This was his third robbery in 6 weeks. Probably a drug habit. CVS, Radio Shack. He was arrested at the hospital and sentenced to 15 years. His getaway driver received probation. Wow. For assisting in 2 of the armed robberies. He received probation. Boy, that's what a great justice system we have. Now, the CCW holder was commended by the DA. Okay. So let's look back. Let's go back to the beginning of this thing. And again, I don't do these things just to, talk shit about people that make decisions under stress. But, in this day of, everything being recorded from one end or the other, we would be remiss if we carry weapons, and I do, and I assume most of you watching do. We would be remiss if we didn't go over these from time to time and look at the things that were done wrong, and as well as the things that were done right. So let's go. Okay, so here comes bad guy. Very well disguised. Okay, I'm trying to figure out where our good guy is here. I think it's this guy, but I'm not sure. Let's watch. You can see if this is the good guy right here, and I believe it is. What is this? Shut up. If you can see, I don't know if he's got his weapon drawn here, which is not a bad idea. And he's trying to get an angle on what's going on. Moving up, he's tactically moving into position here. But the first thing that jumps out at me on this is, and people may agree or disagree, that's the beauty of YouTube and public discussion. What I have trained myself, because remember, what we think about and what we mentally train ourselves to do before an incident, there's a good likelihood that that's what we will default to, whether it's our training or the scenarios we've run through our head. I've made a decision a long time ago, having been, obviously not wanting to get innocent people hurt or killed, but also having been a defendant in federal court, because people got hurt. I prevailed, but the thing is, I had the backing of the LAPD and the city of Los Angeles in terms of, if I had taken a hit financially back in those days. You got to remember that the minute you strap that gun on, and I hope you're trained and you're carrying it with you at all times, you're opening the door to a world of shit. The best part of it is, if you do it correctly, it'll save your life or the life of someone else. But there's no room for error with the Monday night quarterbacking that's going to go on for months and months and months after this thing happens. And the amount of money you're going to have to spend. This is not to dissuade people from carrying concealed weapons. But look, man, reality is reality, and we got to face it. We live in a very litigious society, and you are going to be sued if you drop the hammer, especially if shit goes sideways. So you have to tell yourself ahead of time, and I've talked about this in other videos, what are the red lines that I'm going to establish ahead of time, that I will not use deadly force unless somebody crosses that red line. In a situation like this is a fast-paced robbery, armed with looks like a dangerous weapon. All weapons are dangerous, let's be honest. You have a lot of innocent people around you. And others that we probably can't see back there shopping. Is this a good place for a gunfight? Now, you may not have a choice. I will tell you that one of my red lines is, if asshole here starts shooting people, all bets are off, and I'm going to put him down. And I'm going to put him down hard and fast and with whatever it takes. But if he's just grabbing money and he's heading out the door, I don't think I would start shooting at that point, because what am I trying to achieve here? Am I saving human life? He's leaving the scene. Am I acting in some weird, scope of law enforcement? That's not my job. I'm a civilian. You're a civilian. That's not our job. Are you stopping something terrible from happening? Theoretically, anything's possible. The guy could go in the parking lot and start executing dwarf children. I don't know. But I'm telling you that if I don't see an absolute imminent threat to myself or someone else, I'm going to be a good witness. Because being a good witness saves me a ton of shit, man, in terms of losing my house, possibly going to jail. Look back what happened with the Zimmerman. It's not always good to be the good guy and really push through and start involving yourself. Just because you have a gun on your side or wherever you carry it, it doesn't mean you have to use it. And when you do use it, there's gonna be consequences. So you need to give that a lot of thought. So maybe instead of engaging this dude, a good idea might have been to let him get out and then go out and try to get a license plate or whatever, from a position of advantage, safety, concealment and cover. But let's watch and see what he does. Keep an eye on the good guy. So he looks like he's kind of trying to be inconspicuous. Now, is this guy threatening people? Yes, he is. Fortunately, he hasn't dropped the hammer. Now, let me say this too, just so I'm clear. This is our citizen. Now, if I was, over here, or maybe if I was this guy, at some point, I might have dropped this dude just because he's aiming a gun at some innocent people and we don't know if he's going to pull the trigger. But there's a lot of distance here and there's people between and in back of this guy. So when he pushes his hand and he kind of forces this guy to start returning fire, number one, I don't see a lot of real good cover for this dude. And number two, I see an awful lot of innocent people in the background. 1, 2, 3, 4 that I can see. So you're putting a lot of people in danger. And again, it's a judgment call. I'm not downing this guy for doing it. I'm just saying that that's probably not what I would have done. And then, add to the scenario, if you've got your wife and kids or you got somebody with you, that ought to factor into your decision as to whether or not you're going to get involved. I told the story once of the off-duty sheriff out in California who was in a parking lot with his little girl and got in a gunfight with some dude that was, leaving the scene of the robbery. And when the bad guy realized that was his little 6 or 7-year-old girl hiding by the car, he deliberately aimed and shot and killed her to get the guy off of him. And that poor cop has to live with that. And he used to go around and speak to different departments and divisions and talk about if he had it to do over again, he wouldn't have gotten involved with his daughter, sitting right there. So that's that. It can go pretty bad. All right, let's watch this. Okay, that does look like a shotgun to me. There's your tube right here, your ammo tube, and here's your barrel. So that's not something to play with. I mean, if that's a loaded shotgun, all he has to do is pull the trigger, and he's going to not only probably hit you, but hit the people around you. Now, our good guy looks like, where did he go? He looks like he drifted off to the... Okay, here he is right here, I think. I think this is our good guy right here. So he looks like he's made a decision to engage this guy. And here comes his weapon. So that's actually a good time to bring the weapon up. If you're going to engage somebody, this guy's attention is this way. He's looking off to his right. So that's a good time to do it. You don't want to pull your weapon when the guy's looking right at you. So this was good. But again, we're talking about what looks like a shotgun. And innocent dude here, here, here. I mean, you're going to have to account for the aftermath of what you do. Just be aware of that. Okay, so this guy is oblivious to the concealed carry guy. Gun comes back up again. Now this dude's heading for the exit. He's got his money. Maybe we ought to let him go. What do you guys think? So he starts to shoot. People are getting down. And here's another angle of it. Now, this guy has zero cover against a shotgun. Not sure what he's thinking about. Maybe he thinks he's good with the headshots, but clearly he wasn't, because asshole's still alive. And I don't know if he had a malfunction or what, but so there's a good shot, but unless I'm mistaken, that looks like the barrel of the shotgun. Now that might be part of his jacket. Let me look at that again. No, that was the barrel of his weapon. And he's down. So that's that, What do you guys think about that? I mean, if you guys have something to add to it. Don't be afraid to disagree with me. Maybe I'm sure this guy thought what he was doing was right, and I haven't talked with him, so I don't know where his head was at. A lot of times, every time you get critiqued in a courtroom, whether it's civil or criminal, a lot's going to come down with how much knowledge you have. If you know without a doubt that this particular robber is a guy that has a habit of going outside and executing everybody in the parking lot, then that is going to lend itself a lot more to your defense for initiating, a shootout with this guy. But from what I've seen in this thing, the DA commended him. That's great. I'm pro CCW. I'm pro gun. I'm pro good guy, and I'm anti asshole. But man, this could have just as easily gone terrible. So that's my critique on it. I hope you guys got something out of it. Let me know in the comments. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit notifications, and let me know what you think. And until then, LMS Tactical, I'm out.